So today I just wanted to come here with you guys because we are looking at the last week of the month. So we have more than a week, but next Tuesday night is the last, next Tuesday night is April 30th. And wanted to share some things that I truly believe are key in helping us not only close out our month strong, but honestly key just for having a successful business. You know, a couple weeks ago, Vince and I were listening to a really good training by Dr. Tom Barrett. And Tom Barrett is the one who wrote Dare to Dream and Work to Win, what we're doing our book club today. And I wanna plug the book club. And the reason being is because this book, Dare to Dream and Work to Win, is the most read book that I've read in my business. It was my first book on network marketing. I was just sharing with the VPs that my first NTC, it wasn't GTC back then. Tom Barrett was a guest speaker. I was at that event by myself. Nobody on my team was with me. And he spoke. I went out in the hallway where he was selling books, and I bought that book. And it's the exact same book that I'm still using today. So for those of you who remember the blue book, mine is blue and not white. But I truly believe that that book, Dare to Dream and Work to Win, is pivotal and key for success in our business. And I've read it probably 6 times. And it's so fun rereading my original book because I have all my old notes in the side, and it's kind of fun to get into Beth's world over the years and see some of the things that I wrote and said. But I highly suggest, if you haven't yet gotten your book, go grab it. Grab it on Amazon, grab it. That's where or Tom Barrett's website. You could probably get it on Amazon for $1, like a used copy. And but it is super important. And even if you can't catch the 7:30 a.m. Or wherever you are in the time zone, hop on, because it's just great information, and you just can't go wrong with that book. That's why we gift it. We gift it to promotions, new promotions. If you already bought your book, and then you get one as a gift from promoting to district manager, well, guess what? You're going to have a book to gift when you're an area manager to somebody who promotes a district manager on your team. So I just gave you guys a tip for regifting. So what I want to talk about today is truly kind of a reflection about what Tom was sharing with us on this call. And it was about focus. And it's about how we focus and what we focus on. And I'm just going to take a wild guess that every single one of you that is with us today on this call, you're here because you want to grow a business. You're here because you have a why, and your why is big, and you're ready to rock and roll. You're ready to take things to the next step, the next level. Well, when I think back on my business over these 15 years, there are definitely some things that are in there that there's a common theme about things. Because guys, I want you guys to know that I'm not anybody extraordinary. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not dissing myself. I'm not trying to tear myself down. But I do want you guys to know that it's not that there's something extra special on Beth Ghilardi. It's not that somebody sprinkled pixie dust over me and gave me some sort of a different kind of mindset to help me be successful in this business. There are a couple of things that have been ingrained in me in my lifetime. And I will say that is, working on something when I don't want to work on it, doing the do when it doesn't feel like it. Things like that was ingrained in me, but even to this day, those are things that I have to discipline myself to do. So I actually was sitting down earlier, and I had this other training for today, and then this all just popped into my head, and I pulled out the notes section on my phone, which I hardly ever type up any kind of a training on, but I jotted these things down. And the title is Focus, Turning the Ordinary into the Extraordinary. So wherever you are, no matter where you are, no matter if you have a college education or not, no matter if somebody is giving you some skill sets in sales or not, no matter if you've had network marketing experience or not, I had none of that. I had no network marketing experience, 1 year of college, and all I had done after I was 22 when Caleb was born, from 22 on, I was at home with kids. So I had not had some experience out there in the real world outside of helping my husband grow a church, which was pretty darn hard. But still, I want you guys to see that no matter what you're starting with, no matter what you come to the starting line with, if you implement these tools, you're going to do really well, and you're going to finish the marathon. You're going to finish the race, and you're going to finish the race well. And I haven't even finished my race. I'm on this race, but I want to finish the ultimate race well. I want to get to heaven, and I want God to say, well done, good and faithful servant, enter into thy rest. That's the ultimate race for me, is how do I want to finish? You know, you always hear the folks talk about when you see a gravestone and you see the dash. You know, I was born in 1970. So let's say I pass away in 2070, 100 years old. I just proclaimed it. No, but let's say that's my dash is going to see that. But what was the dash? How did I live my dash? Did I live with no regrets, or do I have a lot of regrets when I pass away? Guys, I already have regrets in my life. I don't want more. And so here's some of these things that I want to share with you guys. So the first thing is you want to give up something that sucks your time away. What is it that needs to be reprioritized in your life? So when I joined Arbonne, I got to tell you guys, I literally was with my kids 24/7. So I had 4 children with me at all times through homeschooling and parenting. And, you know, my husband would be home at pockets of time in the evening, but it was mom. It was the mom show for sure. And from preparing meals, from taking care of them, to everything, kids 24/7. So they had a really great bedtime at 8 o'clock. And probably about 9 o'clock at night is when I would literally like turn on the TV and I would just do this, and I would just flip the switch and flip the switch. But this was a habit that I had for every single night for a couple hours. Now I will tell you, it's not something that I completely knew what I was watching. I was literally in zone out world. And so whenever I started Arbonne, that was the first thing I had to give up, because I'm like, oh my gosh, there's this business that I need to learn. And so I took that time away and put it into something else. And you guys, today it's even harder. Like I can't handle getting into a Netflix show because it just will suck my world away. And it's not that the show does it, it's that Beth allows the show to suck my time away. And so even today I have to fight hard to not allow those things to consume me and take all of my time. I hate that you can binge a whole season in one day and then you look up, you're like, what did I do this month? Oh yeah, I watched 10 different series on Netflix. Oh my gosh, you know? And I have so been guilty of that. And so it's deciding to give up something that sucks your time away. It might be the surfing on social media. It might be something like that. Here's the way I look at social media. Back when my kids were young and I was growing my business, we did not have internet with us everywhere we went. We didn't have smartphones. And so we only had internet when we were actually at home. So when we were at home, we could actually access things and check on things and check emails to see if somebody emailed us back. And so we didn't have that. And today we have the benefit that if we're sitting in the car line waiting for our kids, we don't have to be surfing Facebook or Instagram. We could be reaching out. We can send 5 to 10 text messages in a matter of 10 minutes. And then and once the kids get in the car, we could put our phone down and say, what's up? What are we going to do? We're going to go run by the park on the way home, and we don't have to feel like we're messing our priorities up. So figure it out. What is that one thing you need to give up that's a time sucker for you? The other thing is you got to be prepared to get up early and stay up late. Now, I started this many years ago before Arbonne, because I needed to get up early to be able to go to the gym and to get up before my kids got up and to have private, devotional time. I would get up like at 5 o'clock in the morning, and I'm sure everybody who knows me today, it's kind of like, that probably sounds crazy. And I remember thinking, gosh, when will there ever be a day that I can just sleep till 7 o'clock in the morning and not have to get up so early? But in order for me to be a sane mom, I made time to get up early. And the same thing happened as I just implemented that into my business as I rolled over into Arbonne. If you're one of those folks that is like, I just don't know what I'm going to do with my time, I just don't know how to make this work, we have to either find a way to get up early and stay up an hour later. What's crazy is back in the day, we used to say, there's not a whole lot you can get done after 9 o'clock, like with booking events and booking one-on-ones and booking take-a-looks and all that stuff. But today, guys, all you have to do is go to Facebook and you can see all the different people who are live on Facebook, and we could be shooting out messages. If we're sitting there at 9:30 at night and find ourselves with nothing to do, we can shoot out messages. So what is it that we need to give up? The second thing, you guys, is implementing reading. Now, I've already mentioned Dr. Tom Barrett. Since I'm reading Dare to Dream and Work to Win right now, I'm also reading Girl Stop Apologizing by Rachel Hollis. But I got this tip from Dr. John Maxwell years ago, and I want to share it with you guys, is pretend that you're sitting down and creating a meeting with Dr. Tom Barrett on a daily basis, let's say for 15 minutes. And he's going to meet you. He's going to meet you on Zoom. And you have set these appointments up every day. And you can't wait to sit at his feet and learn with what Dr. Barrett has to say to help you succeed in your business. And so if we knew we were physically meeting with Tom Barrett, would we renege on that? Would we go, oh, I just don't feel like reading today? No, we would like show up. And I remember one time having a private coaching call with him. It was like amazing. We would show up. We would make it happen. We would make it work because we know how important it is. Guys, again, my title of this is How to Focus and Turn the Ordinary into the Extraordinary. These are the things. They might sound simple and they might sound easy, but they're also the most easy thing to skip and not prioritize into our life. So get excited to learn and grow. And don't give up your daily meeting with the author of that book. So if you're reading Rachel Hollis's book today, you can say, oh my gosh, I have the most exciting 15 minutes with Rachel Hollis today. I can't wait to hear what she's going to teach me. When we have that mindset, we go into that book not with rolling my eyes like, I can't believe I have to read for my business. I can't believe this. No, we go into it with, I can't wait to not only hear what she has to say, but what I'm going to then implement and take that on the road and run with it. And the third thing is listen in. Success leaves clues. Why would we ever want to skip listening to trainings and podcasts? So back in the day, the way that we access Arbonne's training is we had to subscribe to the Tape of the Month Club. I think it was $7 a month. We got 2 cassette tapes. There was a training on each side of those cassette tapes. So just 4 trainings a month. So I literally would listen to these 4 trainings over and over and over again throughout the month. But then they came out with Learn and Burns, and that was $5 a month, and they would send us CDs. And I still have all of those. I literally have a stack of them. And then they put it on the source, but it was hard to find. And then finally, Arbonne got SoundCloud. So every single Learn and Burn that's ever been recorded is on SoundCloud. So all you have to do is download the free app SoundCloud and look for Arbonne, subscribe to Arbonne, and every time they upload a new training, you're going to get a notification for it. Guys, turn your car into Arbonne University. Turn it into learning. And the reason why I say this, because again, this is another way that we turn the ordinary into extraordinary, because like I said, success leaves clues. And if we're listening over and over again, they're going to hear. Now, I remember, because I have some moms that say, my kids don't want to listen to that stuff. You know, my daughter's sitting over here in the room with me, and all my kids had to listen to Learn and Burns. I think that's why they were so familiar with Rita's trainings, because they heard our former president, Rita Davenport, train all the time. And I'll never forget, I think Samantha was like in 7th grade, and I overheard her in her room counseling one of her friends, and she was giving her the advice that was trained on the Learn and Burn. And she might not remember this, but I remember like it was yesterday, because I thought, that's awesome. So when I look back at some of the things that my kids they had to listen to because I was learning and growing as a leader, it gave them tools for life. These are tools for life that you're passing on to your kids. Even the youngest, guys, the younger they are, the better. If these are the things that they're hearing, even better. Because once they hit school, school's going to be feeding them the negativity, and this could help combat that. So listen in. Attend it all is the next point. Attend it all. Like, I'm just going to be blunt, and I might step on a lot of toes right now, you guys. So I'm just going to say I'm so sorry that my feet are big and hurt when I step on your toes. Guys, unless I'm sick or out of the country or out of state for some reason, I'm at every single meeting. And I'm not there because I felt like going to a meeting today. I'm there because it's part of my job description to show up and to lead and to guide. And I remember attending everything that was on the schedule that Carlita had. And then that rolled over into my personal business when we moved to California 6.5 months later. And guess what I did? I started a meeting in my house. And I attended all of those meetings. And then when that meeting turned to a hotel, I attended all of those meetings. And oftentimes people will ask me, gosh, I just don't feel like passionate about my business. What should I do? I'm like, attend everything until it becomes a habit that you know that you're going to go and learn something. I don't care if you've heard the opportunity presentation 150 times. I don't even know how many times I've heard it, but guess what? Every time I hear it, I learn something new from someone who's sharing it. So you want to hear it so much that you can give it on a drop of a dime. And one of the things that helped me when I started my own meetings out here in Fresno was that I had been at every meeting Carlita Nelson or Martha McIntyre had ever done in my first 6.5-month tenure, whether it was in someone's home, whether it was a monthly meeting, I went to everything. Don't expect to be sitting in my position if that's something you want to treat flippantly. And yeah, we've made it easy for folks today. We put things on Zoom. We do all kinds of crazy things. We record the Zooms. I remember in the very beginning of my business, the conference calls weren't recorded. If you didn't get on, you didn't hear it, and you missed out. And I had serious FOMO back then, or fear of missing out. There was no way I wanted to miss out on any kind of nugget. And here's the crazy thing, guys. I think we spoil everybody. And maybe this sounds nutso, but back then, we didn't tell you who was going to train. We just said, Sunday night is when it was. Sunday nights is the conference call. Be on it or you won't grow. And gosh, I think our trainings back then were an hour. You know, today we do really good to get you in and out in 25 minutes. But I will tell you, I never called Carlita and said, hey, who's training tonight? I just want to make sure to see if I want to get on. But I've got a ton of those phone calls from folks on my team. So guys, attend it all. If you can't be live on a Wednesday night Zoom, this is your board meeting. If you are serious about growing a business, and in our book club with the VPs, we just wrapped up this book called Learning to Lead Like Jesus. And this chapter, the last chapter, is Learning to Lead Like Jesus with Faithfulness. He says, faithful leaders make room for the next generation of leaders. If you want to grow and grow leaders in your business, where else are you going to learn to grow leaders if you don't show up where the leaders are? And again, I know I probably stepped on a few toes here, and I apologize in advance, but I need to tell you I need to be honest with you and tell you what this business truly takes. It takes showing up. If you haven't yet, if you can't be at GTC, which we just had someone, a brand new consultant on Whitney's team, just signed up, got on the waiting list, and registered for GTC today. That waiting list is still open. If you can't be a part of the physical GTC, then you need to register for the virtual one today. Because again, that's where the leaders are at that you want to be. So even if you can't be there physically, we have the benefit of virtual. And I know a lot of folks still haven't done that, and I want to challenge you guys to do that. The next thing is you want to prioritize your business. You guys, if Arbonne is something you're serious about, it can't be number 5, 6, or 7 on your priority list. It's got to be up there in your priority list. Now, of course, you know, on my list, it's always going to be my faith, my family, and then my Arbonne business. But it has to be up there high, or else you're going to struggle, because what happens is we put other things instead of it. We put other things that really aren't going to grow us instead of it. And sometimes that just becomes the easy thing to do, because I know this business is hard. It challenges us more than anything else in your life will challenge. Robert Kiyosaki in his book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, said, if you choose to grow a network marketing business and become successful at it, you will grow more spiritually than anything, any endeavor in your life that you do. And he said, for one reason, is you can't care what people think. You have to get outside of that realm and not care what people say or what people think to grow and be successful. So prioritize your business. What does your daily priorities look like? Of course, if your job is what you need to pay the bills, it's going to come above Arbonne, but I would put Arbonne right underneath that job, so that it's something that you see and you work on every day. Because it's crazy. We'll work on things every day that really don't matter much in the long run, but we'll put this one aside. So I want to challenge you guys to do that. The next thing is, don't let your why become your excuse. This happens often. You know, I have so many young moms that tell me how bad and desperate they want to be with their kids, but then their kids become the reason why they can't do something, why they can't go out and meet someone for a one-on-one, or why they can't come to a meeting or can't go to an event, whatever it might be. Their kids become the reason. I had to move mountains to make sure my kids had somewhere to go. But I never let that stop me, because this is what I truly believe. If you are in forward motion, doors open. But if you're sitting on the couch waiting for someone to call you up to be a babysitter for your kids, it's just not going to happen. But when we're in forward motion, it's crazy. All the little things that will pop out, it's because we're activating our faith and we're running forward. And we're running forward with intention. It's just like, we all need to become like a doctor's office. How many of you have ever gone to a doctor's appointment and got in right away? It's very, very, very rare. And I know Terry Wilson's on here, and her husband's a dentist. Well, they double and triple book the same time slot. Why, you guys? Because people cancel. Because people but at the last minute say they can't come. Those doctors are being wise. They still want to make money. And so we need to be the same way, not be scared to load up. If you have only one Saturday, if Saturday is your only day that you can do any kind of event, from take-a-looks, one-on-ones to parties, if that's it, it's that Saturday, then slam it full to get where you need to come afterwards. I'll never forget Terry Wilson sharing when she promoted to Regent. She drove 1 hour one way to work, you guys, and she had 3 kids under the age of 3. And at that point, her youngest son was, I think he was 1. They would literally have to tear his hands off, not tear them, but, pry them off the steering wheel because he was crying so hard when she had to leave for work. And of course, she had to reapply her makeup when she got to work because she cried all the way there. And there were times that she said during those 7 months, because it took her 7 months to get where she needed to go to walk away from her job. And during those 7 months, she said there were nights that she did not get to see her kids until the next morning because she would leave Fresno for her hour drive home and go straight to a party. Now, I'm going to tell you guys something. Most people wouldn't do that. Most people would say, this is too hard, it's just not worth it. And most people would have made their kids the excuse. And most people would say, I didn't get to see my kids and put them in bed tonight. But guess what? That was in 2007. Terry joined the business in late 2006. But Terry has been a present at-home mom ever since 2007. So you guys, she decided to make choices and she decided to prioritize Arbonne. Yeah, it hurt. Her kids, it was tough, but it was 7 months of hard. 7 months of throwing herself out there into some crazy activity to get where she needed to be. And I love when she shares her pictures of what her kids look like at that moment and what her kids look like today. So prioritize your business and don't let your why become your excuse. The last thing I want to share as we wrap it up is just do it scared, you guys. I would like to be able to sit here and tell you that you can muster up enough confidence and feel goodness to do this business. But yeah, there are some days when I'm on top of the world and it makes it easy for me to do a reach out. But I'm going to tell you, there's a lot of days where I feel like crap and I have to just do it no matter what I feel like. And if you had to in a nutshell, say who Beth is, and my husband said this to me the other day, that's why I'm like, well, and he's like, Beth, if I had to describe you in a nutshell, it's that you do it when you don't want to. You just get up and do it when it doesn't feel good. And I'm not always like that, but I will tell you guys, do it scared. And guys, please don't wait for the feelings to do this business. Please don't wait for the emotions. You have a why and your why is enough. You will have, valleys in this business because there is no such thing as a mountaintop without a valley. It is inevitable. I would be lying to you if I told you weren't going to have struggles. You're not going to have people think you're crazy. You're not going to have people quit. And you're not going to have people cancel on you. That's crazy. I would be lying to you. It's going to happen. But guys, what is on the inside, or the end, gift that this business is, it's worth it. And that's something we have to stare in the mirror every day and tell ourselves it's worth it. I could write a book, and maybe I should, about all the crazy events that I have done and drove away from having to tell myself, it was worth it, it was worth it, it was worth it, it was worth it. From the time that I took my daughter Samantha to a hoarder's house, which I had never been in before, and I had to tell her not to sit down because I was scared that roaches would crawl up her pants. It was the most crazy thing in the world. It was the fastest darn party I've ever done in my life. Literally had to remove dishes from the sink to fill the foot spots, and cockroaches were crawling everywhere. And there was only an empty spot on the living room floor because she had cleaned that spot out. And we both had to go pee because we drove to Merced to do it. And I told her, nope, we're not going to pee. We're going to get through this. And I remember after that, it was worth it. It was worth it. It was worth it. That's just one sample of crazy events that I've done, you guys, from going into the ghetto that I didn't know was ghetto, where my father-in-law yelled at me and said, you can't go to that area again without vents. And I'm like, I didn't know. It was worth it. It is worth it. It is worth it. We all have those moments. There is no such thing as a national vice president that had this sunny, filled journey of no trials. That's craziness. It is worth it. You have to tell yourself that. You have to do it scared. And then the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to read this post that Whitney shared with her team. Let me find it. I'll read it from my text because I sent it out to some folks. So Avery Honeycutt had shared this with her team. And she shared a picture of herself years ago driving to Oklahoma City to a meeting that Peyton thought she should go to. And then she shared a picture of herself just the other day, and it's just crazy to look at the difference in her. But this is what she said. Peyton and I woke up early today to drive to Oklahoma City to have lunch for someone's birthday. And as I was in the front seat doing my follow-ups, it reminded me of the picture Peyton took of me on the way to my first ever Oklahoma City meeting when I was only a brand new district manager and almost area qual. It makes me so excited because no matter how much better Arbonne has gotten and changed over the last 3 years, the activity has stayed the same and consistent. At this point in my business, my mom still wasn't okay with the idea of my Arbonne business, and I skipped 2 days of cosmetology school so I could put Arbonne first. I'm so glad I didn't give up even when I had a rough patch, no's, and negative feedback from people. I hadn't even imagined I would be an RVP at that point, and most certainly not an MVP. Every single number and person written down in that first journal either said no or jumped in and quit. No one on my current team is written down in that notebook. That's crazy, right? I promise you, stick with the activity and the right people are going to come along, but you may never meet them if you hold back out of fear and rejection. It's about others and not us. Even with social media exploding and us being able to use to our advantage, I still do the same work, the same 40 faces and the same launches and reach out calls every month as I did when this picture was first taken. But my paychecks, team, and vision have certainly grown since then. You're made for greatness, and you are cheating yourself by choosing the easy road of quitting and having something to fall back on. I know many, and most of you haven't quite gotten to experience the time or financial freedom that other VPs and I have. But your business and time is worth fighting for, and just because we have that doesn't mean the hustle stops. You deserve to be an ENVP, and you're going to change so many lives along the way on your journey. So proud of you. Be the one that stays. So that's my challenge, guys, as we close out. We're all people that have started different walks of life. But I'll tell you what, when we choose to give up something, suck in our time to prioritize that, implement reading as if we're sitting along with that author, listen in because success leaves clues, and make sure that every day you're listening to something that's feeding you, guys, because just like we say food is either fuel or poison, what we listen to is either fuel or poison. Attend it all, prioritize your business, don't let your why become your excuse, and do it scared and even when you don't feel like it. And guys, I promise those tiny little implemental things will make a difference for your business. And so I just wanted to share that. It was from my heart. As we close out April, there are so many goals that everyone is working for right now, so many major goals, and so many crazy things can happen in the last 10 days of the month. But I'm proud of you already and grateful for you no matter what. But let's go out there and kill it, guys, and do what God has put us on this earth to do, and to most importantly share his love, but to love on others, guys, because that's what it's all about. Anybody have any questions or comments?